Click the subscribe button, hit the bell icon to never miss another update.
In the days when Najashi was king of Abyssinia, Abraha became king of Yemen. He commissioned his architects to build the world's largest and most beautiful temple. It took many years to build the temple. Hundreds of architects, workers, carpenters, and blacksmiths worked day and night to build the beautiful shrine. One day, Abraha and his commanders went to visit the temple, where he gave a sermon to the people. "Good morning, my beloved subjects," said Abraha. "This is my gift to you, and you all should make good use of it. See how the people of Mecca use the Kaaba, how merchants from other lands go there. You must also bring this place to fame and fill it with wealth." A few days later, Abraha's enemies marched into the temple and set fire to it. The worshippers inside the temple warned everyone. Some officers were able to extinguish the fire, but the temple was no longer as beautiful as it was before. When this news reached Abraha, he rushed from the palace to the burnt-out temple. When he saw the building, he angrily shouted, "I know this is the work of the people of Mecca. I swear I will burn their precious Kaaba to the ground." The next day, Abraha's advisors begged him not to burn the Kaaba. "Don't do it, king. The Kaaba is the memorial of Abraham. By doing so, all the people of Arabia, including the Yemeni people, will become our enemies." But the others in the court disagreed. "We must attack the Kaaba as soon as possible and fight anyone who wants to take us down." After a moment of thought, Abraha declared his decision. "I will take command of the army myself. Prepare the troops, cover the elephants with armor, and set up the chariots. I want to burn that stupid cube to the ground." The next day, Abraha mounted his elephant and his large army left for Mecca. When they reached a place near Mecca, they set up their tents in the great desert and planned to attack Mecca the next day. Abraha sent one of his commanders to Mecca to bring Mecca's leader to him. On the way, Abraha's soldiers attacked the herdsmen of Mecca and took their herds of camels and sheep. The army commander went to Abdul Muttalib and told him, "Our king Abraha wants to see you. We plan to attack you tomorrow, so it is in your interest to meet him." Abdul Muttalib went to see Abraha. When Abraha saw Abdul Muttalib, he rose from his chair in respect for him. He said to himself, "He seems like a strong leader. I don't think he'll simply give in to my words." Abdul Muttalib said, "What do you want? We will attack the Kaaba tomorrow. If you try to defend the Kaaba, you will be killed." "All right, but give me my camels back," Abdul Muttalib said calmly. Abraha was surprised by Abdul Muttalib's words and said, "I have come to destroy your place of worship, but you are thinking about your camels." Abdul Muttalib said, "Because I am the owner of my camels. The owner of the Kaaba is God, and he will protect the Kaaba himself." Abraha was surprised by his answer, and he gave Abdul Muttalib his camels back. The next morning, Abdul Muttalib exiled his people for their safety. They took refuge on a mountain slope near Mecca. Meanwhile, Abraha attacked Mecca with his army. A few moments later, one of the soldiers shouted, "Look at the sky! What is that black cloud? Why is it coming so quickly towards us?" All the soldiers stared at the black cloud in amazement. As the black cloud got closer, the horses started neighing, and the elephants started trumpeting. The horses threw their riders off their backs and fled into the wilderness, and the elephants started running away as well. "Don't be afraid! They're just a flock of birds! Don't be afraid!" a soldier shouted. But at that moment, the birds started throwing pebbles at him, and the rocks pierced his helmet, and the soldier's head was split in half, and the soldier fell to the ground. Abraha, who had never seen such a thing, shouted, "Run away! Run!" The soldiers tried to flee, but the birds got to them first. The soldiers and commanders were shouting, and the stones would fall on elephants, horses, and mules as well. Dust and smoke had swept through the desert. The birds relentlessly threw rocks and stones at them, not sparing any of them. Soon all the troops died, and the crying and whining of the troops died down. Even those who had escaped earlier were not spared. Abdul Muttalib and the people of Mecca watched from the top of the mountain. Abdul Muttalib said, "Look how well God protected his house. Look how God destroyed that great big army of Abraha with these little birds." There was no one left in Abraha's army, and Abraha, who was wounded, fled to his hometown. But he had not yet reached his palace when suddenly he was thrown from his horse and fell to the ground. At this time, one of the birds perched on top of Abraha's nose. The bird had a pebble in its beak, and he threw the pebble onto Abraha, and before long he died. The people of Mecca returned to their city and continued their lives as before, as if nothing had happened.